Welcome to this Maths Heroes video. My name's Christine. Two things today. What do you notice about this screenshot that I've got there? Do you see how colour pops? And I think of how many times I used to do things on the board and I didn't use colour enough. And now I make a real point of being able to, put variables in and mix the colours up so that my students can actually track with their eyes what's actually happening. So wherever they see blue, A10, our M5 is purple, and yeah, I think it helps all of us to be able to see better what's going on and the thinking that's going on. The second thing are the examples. So this is the continuation of It's a Fact to actually demonstrate that all students can start their multiplications facts not from rote memory, with a framework, works every single time, no matter what the numbers are. It's not a trick to remember just for 1 to 10. That's the 9 one with your fingers is what I'm actually alluding to. Let's have a look at how we go with these boxes. I've done 7 because 7's the prime number that you can't pull it apart into factors, which means I can't split it up easily into a nice box. So I have to think of it differently. So if your students are doing 2, 5s and 10s when they first start multiplication, use an example that's relevant to them. You don't have to do 7. So, okay, the first one, 7, one group of 7, 7 groups of 1, it doesn't matter. You have to think of it as 10 minus 3, 5 plus 2, 4 plus 3, whatever, however you need to think of 7. That's how we'll look at it throughout the video. Then the next box is double. So multiplying by 2. So I will do videos on the individual strategies, but this is the framework for multiplication facts. This is not teaching our students 2 7s. This is teaching our student 2 of any number, right? So this is why this framework is far better, because every student can draw a box and they can make an equal sign. That's what I tell them, that the horizontal line is equal. So the top bit equals the bottom bit. And they can put the number in, and how they get to 7 plus 7 or 2 7s, I'm not worried about that. We'll do that in another video. I personally then do 4 7s because that is double double, and I'm going to put that here, and I'm going to put the 3 to the right because it's going to be a bit on the squashy side. So my vocab is double double. So double double. So we've already learnt how to double 7. So I know that double 7 is 14. So now I'm having to double 14, which is 28. I would do, if I was following the stream of 2s down, I would do 8. 10 is actually the logical one after 2. But here, when I say double, 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 I then pull one line down all the way to there, because that's my answer box, is that last one. And then I halve these other ones. So then I put a 7 in each here. And I say, well, I've already learned how to double 4 7, which was 14. And now I'm going to double 14. And now I have to, be able to double 28. So like I said, I'll do the strategies in another video. 10. If I do any numbers that students are not comfortable with, then, it doesn't matter what it is, because, even if I had 10 times 18 multiplied by 18, I would actually put a 10 and an 8 in here, or a 10, a 5 and a 3. It doesn't matter, because counting by 7s is not easy, right? And we want to scaffold them that they can know what it is. So I would say, well, how can we make those numbers friendlier? Well, if I put a 5 in each box, right? And then another 2. That means 7 is in each of those boxes. And if I count 5, 10, 15, 20, that's fine. Or I can count here's a 10, here's a 10, and say that I've got 10 groups of 5, which is 50. And I've also got 10 groups of 2, which is 20. So when I add them together, I've got 10 groups of 7, which is 70. I can now simply do 9 groups. Triple is not easy. So I tend to go 10 minus 1. So now I've got to cross that one out because it's one group of 7 that I've got to do less than. So I can say 10 group of 7 minus one group of 7. It's going to be 70 minus 7, which is 63. Let's go back and do 3 sevens now. So if I did 3 sevens, 2, 3. So I already know that 2 sevens are 14. And I've got to add one more 7. Well, friendly to that, if I do it on a number line, it's probably a bit better. So friendly to that, if I added another 6, I'd get to 20. And so I've only got one more because 6 and 1 is 7, and that would get me to 21. Oops, that's my thinking. So let's put 21 in here. Beautiful. 5 sevens. Let's do that. So 5 is half of 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So if you were doing 5 groups of 7, I could think about, right? I could do half of 10 sevens. So 10 sevens, and I'm going to divide it by 2. So 10 sevens is 70, and then I'm going to find half of that. The problem is odd numbers are usually pretty tricky for students. So if you think about 70 and we're going to share it between 2, whatever's friendly to you, maybe 60 and 10 is friendly. When I share it between the two of us, right, we're going to get half of 60 is 30, half of 10 is 5, so we're going to get 35 each. So a half of 70 is 35. They may also, let's do a simple turnaround fact and say, well, what's 7 fives? Because the two factors, 7 and 5, make up the 35. So I've got 6 sevens. I can do, and I'll show you the reason I do this one, is because 42. If I said to you 42 divided by 6, 42 divided by 6, right, it's very hard for students to go 6 watts of 42. So thinking of the factor product thing. But if I know that 6 is half and then 30, so I've halved and then I third, I can get back that way. So that's a strategy I can always use. If it's friendly numbers, and I've got a 6, maybe I do a 5 and a 2, and I know 6 fives are 30, 2 sixes are 12. So I've got 30 plus 12 equals 42. So whatever friendly numbers work for you is great. 7 sevens are 49. That was my nemesis in school. So here I've got a pen frame. If I think of 7 as 5 and 2 more, so I've got my 5 and I've got 2 more. I know that 5 sevens are 35 because I've already done that. 2 sevens are 14. So 35 plus 14 is 49. Perhaps I think of it as 4 and 3. Perhaps I think of it as 10 take away 3. We'll do 10 take away 3 here. I've got 10 groups, which I know is 70. And I've got to take away 3 groups. So I've got 10 groups of 7, take away 3 groups of 7. So I've got 70, take away 21. And if I think on a number line, 70, take away 20 is 50, take away 1 more, it's 49. So hopefully that shows you that when students have a framework, they can use their strategies and they can know all the multiplication facts, not just something that they have to memorize in a trick. Pretty much doubling is the one to memorize. Tens followed very closely behind. Hope you enjoyed the video. I look forward to seeing you again next time. Everyone is a maths hero. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.